That's it. Hold on. That's the place. Two. So it goes loving and when I'm going now. Loving and keep it smooth right to the end. Yeah. So you see what's going on there? You gotta bring us into that, but the band's gonna stay straight, and you're gonna go. You can't hear me? Hey, can you get Joey? Turn Joey's cans on. Put my vocal in Joey's cans.
Okay, I got you.
You got me now? Okay, we're gonna go 2, 2, 3, 4. Loving and elevator. This is right before the guitar solo. Loving and elevator. Living it da. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. That's it. There you go.
I bet you we end up calling it Aerosmith 15.
No way. The fuck does that mean? That's not true anyway. You can't count greatest hits and bootlegs and shit.
Okay, Aerosmith 14. Aerosmith 12. You know what I mean. It's like it's gonna come out.
Well, it might, but I doubt it. You can't think that way anyway.
I'd rather call it Pump than anything else.
With what?
What on the cover?
Yeah.
I am responsible for the title Pump. It's my fault. It truly is an epic, the whole tale of the title. I came up with the title shortly after our permanent vacation tour had ended. We were having a business meeting, and as usual, I wasn't I was daydreaming, and was looking around at all the titles of our previous albums, which adorn our manager's office. And I'm going, oh, we gotta do another one of these now, another album, another title, and that's really where Pump originated at that meeting, because I thought the Aerosmith logo reminded me of the old Flying A gasoline sign, and I started to go with the whole gasoline station theme, and I started working with that. I started working with one of the guys at the office, Keith Gard, and I told him about my idea, and we said, yeah, Pump, is it Pumps, and it just became Pump, and we thought it was great, and everybody thought it was great, except the guys in my band.
Well, that's the thing, if this was our first record, it would be, you'd never put Fine on the record, but it being Aerosmith, people are gonna go, Fine, what did they call it that for,
And then someone would say, because it's fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, that's what it stands for. And everybody will go, oh, now I know why they did that.
I mean, it's a chance, that's all. It's our 14th record, and everything else has been like a really literal, cool rock and roll title. If it was a weak album, it would be one thing, but the album's really strong, So it really doesn't matter what we call it, so why not have some fun with it?
Well, I don't like it. I don't like Fine at all. I don't want a record called Fine. That's how,
All right.
What's your record called? Fine.
Yeah, but what's your record called? Pump. What the fuck is that?
The names, I have a list that somewhere in my files. I think there's over 100 titles on it, and people were going crazy. Everybody wants to name the record. It becomes this kind of a challenge.
Okay, back to the drawing boards then.
Because I get the same reaction about Pump from kids.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
As a title?
Aaron, they don't think about it completely about sex as older folks. It's immediately our minds. My mother couldn't even say it.
Looking up your old address?
No, Pump.
Pump.
She couldn't even say it. She got embarrassed. When I told her what the title was with the kids, they think about being pumped up when they hear it. They don't associate it with sex right off.
Yeah.
So it's like, it works better for them, I think. That's like saying fuck to an older person.
When Brad first thought of it, the idea, where it came from, I thought it was great. I said, okay, fine, that's good, And then you hear stuff from other people, and they, no, we don't like it. No, that won't, yes, no. Oh, because of this, and no, it's too hokey, and then, and on, and then you start listening to them. And every time we decide something, we go off and we talk to different people, and it would screw us all up.
There was a survey done by the accounting firm of, Brian and David did a little survey. They went down, asked people 5 names here. Elevator, Fine, Here's Looking Up Your Old Address, Monkey House, and Pump.
And the survey went from Vancouver to Revere to Southborough.
People were just scraping the bottom of their shoes looking for, inspected by, I mean, anything that came into your head. But Pump did win out, and I just thought it was such a good title because it said so many things. It was sexual, it was musical, it was 90s,
It's more about the dynamics of the band, that process. It's not even about the title of the album anymore. It's about, who's right and who isn't, who can make the best argument or be the best politician. It's kind of fun, actually, because it takes pressure off the songs,
I'd say go for 3.
Really?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right here, where he goes like this.
Can't be 8's too long.
No, sure it can be. It's all a feeling thing.
part of the process that we go through, we still have to sell ourselves to the record company. And believe it or not, we actually got up to the studio, and I don't think they were convinced we had the material.
All right, well, let's do the next one here.
You've got this balance going on where you've got the band pretty much just wanting to do what they like, what they feel, and what makes them feel good. But you've got people that come in from your record company. For instance, in our case, John Kolodner. He's our main contact and our mentor at our record company. And he loves our music. And along with just having a love of the music and enthusiasm for what we're doing, his mind is also thinking, which of these songs do I hear that might get on the radio, or that a lot of other people might like to listen to as well. And so he's got to develop a sense of that and encourage the band in certain directions.
To me, that's a real great live tune, real nasty, and Steven just gets out and, rips it out. Good, kind of attitude.
It would be nice if it had some kind of guitar or other hook in it musically, which it doesn't have yet. But you'll have to see how that goes as you're making it.
Yeah.
More than anything, you want to please John Kolodner because, he's right there with you, really, and he knows what we're capable of. So he's just pushing and pushing and pushing because, we might get lazy, we might be, our focus can be off. And so John's just going, I know you guys can do better than this, or, it's got to be this way. And you're going, oh, geez, can't we go drive our cars now?
You really should put a chorus in after the first verse.
Oh, I see.
Because that really works,
yeah.
And it doesn't disturb, I am pleased because it is a compromise between what they want and I want, because it doesn't interfere with the rest of the song.
Yeah.
But it needs it because it's going too long before that chorus.
We're always complaining that there isn't enough of it done, and how can he make a judgment on a song that doesn't have all the lyrics? And yeah, but we don't have the lyrics. Well, we've got to play it for him anyway. So all that stuff, it's all part of the process, and a lot of it's hard.
And even Joe Perry Solo, is that Perry Solo? Yeah. That's going in the right direction.
Oh, it's great.
That's really, I'm surprised how good that is.
Yeah, the sound on that solo is something you've never heard before.
Which is what this whole album, I mean, already there's a couple songs that don't sound like anything else. I mean, this song doesn't sound like anything that's ever been recorded, which is why I think it's going to get so much attention.
It's real simple for me now, looking back in retrospect on the whole procedure of creativity. Quite often, we who are creating at the time, it's like a painting, and you get stuck by being the painter, by being in the frame, when in reality, the people that buy it and love the painting are standing back a little from it, right? So we, being the creators, creative people, are like stuck in the frame and can't see that the colors, the reds, are kind of fusing. We like to think it is because, hey, I know everything, I'm the greatest, right? So, but in that process of creativity, which, by the way, there's a lot of lunacy, and not just because the moon is full, it takes somebody like Kolodner or whoever the designated bad guy is to come in and say, hey, no, man, you should, you know, if you don't mind me saying so, you should try that. And John Kolodner's never said anything more than that. You know, I don't like that. You should try doing this there. And it's not finished until you change that lyric. And he'll be to the point, but he says it with love. You know, he knows that we have the bottom line, and he never lets us think any different, which is real good for us. It makes me want him to be even more critical.
Well, I mean, that's truly his masterpiece. I mean, that's really amazing and really bizarre.
Yeah.
It really is.
That is really bizarre.
I had no idea that's what that was about.
Yeah. Well, it didn't start out to be that way, but we haven't
Now I see
talked
why
about it.
the song is so commercial. You might want to change a couple words. I mean, like he raped. You know, he
Yeah,
could say
we're gonna
he
dump
popped or something,
Or he
and
did.
and the bullet. I mean, now I see why the discussion came up, because this is the kind of song that's so interesting that people will play it. And if there's a few, I mean, it would be a shame to not have it played because of 3 or 4 words. I see exactly why the discussion came up. I didn't really understand.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. If he gets something that's cool for those, like, I mean, he could easily say he did a little bitty baby, you know, instead of he raped.
Yeah.
And we could get something for put a bullet in his brain, which basically says the same thing without.
See, now on Run, I mean,
It's heavy.
in the end, are you gonna? I mean, it needs, like, this also needs a production kind of thing, like major, of some sort.
Yeah. The thing is that we want to leave it hanging with a kind of an ominous feel, like unresolved in a way, you know. So we want to leave the tension.
Because it does stay that way.
Yeah.
But then, okay, that's all right if you want to do that. But then on Runaway, those sections, then they should be orchestrated, or then there should be. Then they should have
We
a
can make the
George
choruses
Martin
bigger,
or some. I mean, I understand about the tag because maybe that's what the song says. But then the choruses and the Runaway parts, the Janie's Got a Gun and the Runaway parts, then they have to be more intense and melodic and, you know, easier to remember. If you're going to go out on a weird tag.
It's not like a big deal, because I know John comes from the heart, and I have a lot of respect for his opinion, you know. I mean, you know, there's some things I don't like what he says about stuff, but, you know, like when you stand back for a second, I don't get anywhere near as crazed about it as Steven does. I mean, he's like, you know, it's not permanent, and nothing he says is etched in stone, and I don't think it's pronouncing judgment. It's like, you know, he's right and wrong, too, about things, you know. I mean, sometimes he'll take one word out of a lyric and go, that can't be in there. It's terrible. And it's like, sometimes he just needs something to hang his hat on, I guess. But for the most part, he's right, so I respect what he says, you know. And as far as whether I like it as a musician or an artist, I mean, you know, if I was that much of a musician or an artist, I'd be playing coffee houses in Cambridge. You know, I mean, I'm an entertainer and I play rock and roll and arena rock. And in order to do that, you have to make compromises.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Don't Get Mad in Love and Janie could be a classic song of all time if Bruce can get it right. And then Other Side, you know.
Could be contender. My Girl could even be contender if they lay in 3 real strong singles. You could come with My Girl.
Yeah.
Wait, do it again. Go. Now suck her toes. It's slowing down, John. Easy on the pipe like bread.
Wherever he can get an idea, wherever somebody can kick his ass to make it go, that's great. But on the other hand, you know, it's a tough thing. I mean, you know, we've all tried to write lyrics, and it's not an easy task, so.
No, and of course we all know that he has the best twisted sense of that. But if he would sit down and do it, I mean,
When he puts his mind to it,
Right.
he fucking writes such great stuff.
I know that.
He needs a little bit of inspiration. I think you're right, John.
That was the most uncomfortable time for me during this album, was when they said, get out of here and finish the songs.
You know, I don't think you need feel, you know, awkward about not being here for every second of the record. I mean, there's no question about it. Sometimes things happen, but, you know, and things happen when you're not in the room as well, good things. And, you know, there's no harm in that. And besides that,
Listen,
it's
let me
nothing
just
that
go
you
do
can't,
this.
nothing that you can't come over and
I will come by and visit you every
more
25 minutes.
more the better.
Every 25 minutes.
Good. I mean, I think that's great. And if you don't like something, we can fix it up.
Yeah, now that's not true. Shit goes down, it's down because Johnny's are just demos.
Huh? Nah.
But that's all right. I can live with it.
Oh, you can go stand, keep your backs to the door.
You may have to do
Wait, they
this
still
once a
remember
day.
how to set mics up for Ace?
A couple of times a day.
A couple times a day.
I hope I'm not too hard on him, but
You know what? Nobody's hard enough on him. That's the problem.
Problem with Steven here is if he doesn't have the lyrics finished, it's not a song. You know, so Joe would look at me and say, well, finish the lyrics, we'll have a song. So, of course, I waited until the very last minute in Vancouver to finish up with those songs, which was pretty good. It got me really pissed off. And that seems to be how I work the best, is under pressure and bummed out and, you know, forced into stuff. That way I get more of me into my art.
Will you clear on elevator? It doesn't sound exactly.
Yep.
I want to go commit suicide.
No, you don't, because the record's great.
Tell me more about how great the record is.
It's great.
I need
It
to
sounds
hear it.
like it
Is there a
sounds
hit
like
anywhere?
there's a lot of hits.
How many hits?
Well, let me listen to the whole thing first.
Tell me how much you love me.
You got to know when to stop, too. You know, you can start with the amount of tracks that you can record with 48 tracks, 96 tracks. You can start tying tape machines together. And you got to know when to stop, too. You know, how many horns? Is it an organ or a piano? And that's the real difficult part, I think, is deciding what makes it, when you've got enough, and what works.
Get the bridge. You find that?
Hey, you guys. Yeah, so what are you wasting time for? Just do it and we'll fix it in the mix.
Nobody likes
Come on, Joey. Ready? One take, we got this. Boom, boom, we're out.
Always ready.
Here we go, here we go.
Walking the street. I got a ragtop Chevy, now I'm back on my feet. I get an even whole woody when I sit in the seat. 'Cause I'm ready, so ready, yeah. I got a girlfriend with a hoochie eyes. 'Cause in the picture looks so fine. She got the cracker jacks, now all I want's the flies, honey. I know there's hookers down on 42nd
down 42nd Street, but ill-gotten booties. Here we go.
When I do punch-ins or overdubs on a record, you know, I go and just like everybody else, you sit in the control room behind the board with the producer. And, you know, you're kind of sitting here and you've got your instrument here, and immediately right here is Bruce, you know, and he's like staring at you, and you feel his eyes boring into the side of your head saying, come on, come up with your best, let's do it. And then there's Steven will be right over here, and he'll be ready to go, hey, why don't you, and everybody else is kind of around, you know, like, you know, for moral support. And it's really exciting because, you know, you're on the spot. And, you know, it can, you know, for me, I'm a, you know, bass player. I'm used to having my stuff done, down pat. You know, it's the bed of the song, and that's it. But all of a sudden, you know, you're on stage. And, you know, for me, I get more stage fright right then probably than, you know, when I'm out in front of 20,000 people.
Okay, let's keep that. Let's do one more for little insurance.
Tremendous amount of listening goes on, and a real experimentation starts to happen. Because we record live, the band goes in and performs the song and usually gets it in 1, 2, 3 takes. There's the song, everything's there. The overdubbing process comes in. You know, maybe we'll try a trumpet here, or, you know, I mean, you have to get crazy with it. You can't limit yourself. The horizons have to be really far and wide.
We write a song like Young Lust. Everybody goes, how can you sing a song about young lust when you're 40? And it's like, you know, how are those kids going to relate to that? And it's not about them. It's about us feeling that young lust and allowing ourselves to feel that, you know, and calling in those feelings that you still have when you're 40. You know, I still have. And it's really a tongue-in-cheek kind of song, but it's still, you know, about, you know, that other side of our lives, you know, that a lot of people my age don't allow themselves anymore. You know, they don't allow themselves the pleasure of listening to rock and roll anymore. You know, it's like they start to believe what society tells them about what you're supposed to do when you're 30 and 35 and 40 and 45 and 50, you know. You're supposed to be, you know, it's all defined by what's on TV and all this stuff. And I don't watch TV, so I don't worry about what the Huxtables are doing, you know what I mean? Or what I'm supposed to be wearing, you know. I can tell a little bit when I drive by the yacht club, but, you know, I never go in there.
This is a proposal for our album cover, okay? You gotta tell me your honest opinion. How about Young Lust?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I mean, you could call the album that and have the 2 trucks, the cover of Young Lust and the 2 trucks on top of each other, and that would be totally hilarious.
Don't you like that picture of the 2 trucks?
Everybody loves that picture. Whoever sees it, they go crazy. Especially if you call it Young Lust, because it's hilarious.
But they're 2 old trucks. But I don't see the rock and roll thing. Here I see the penis and the vagina, and that's, hey, that's that side of rock and roll. The 2 trucks fucking is like, whoa. And you
What's
don't
that got to do with rock and roll? I mean, why is that any more rock and roll
because
than that?
pumps is on the side of the truck and it really doesn't have to mean anything. I painted this picture of how I got somewhere, and I got there by feeding that fucking monkey on my back. And you don't throw those four-letter words, which are in every teenager, I mean every teenager's vocabulary is a four-letter word. Why? Because he can. Same reason a dog licks his balls, because he can. And it's a cool thing, and Mom doesn't like it, but I'm gonna say it because she doesn't like it. And so I use those words because they're very descriptive. It's my orange and blacks and fuchsias in my painting of my art. And no Tipper Gore or any of those people are going to tell me I can't use that. Besides which, if they agree with me that drugs is a big problem in the United States, and I ought to know because I did them for enough years and killed myself doing it almost. If they agree with me on that, then they're going to have to listen to me on how to tell my story. Because you're not going to do it by saying no. Just saying no is like saying just cheer up to a manic depressant. It's much deeper than that. And so feeding that fucking monkey on my back is going to make a kid's ears perk up and maybe listen to the lyric. Then those 2 out of 10 that are just going to lollygag along and do nothing are going to maybe get what I'm talking about in that song. And therefore, doing a lot more to the drug problem in the United States than just saying no.
Then you go into the mixing process, and this is the other nice part. You got this organ part here just doesn't work. You just go, it's out of there. So, you know, the listening, it's the repeated listening and having a vast knowledge of music, too, historically, what works, what doesn't work.
You play the top. Play the top. Okay. Just these sections.
There's two stages of when an album is finished. There's the stage where my stuff is finished, and there's the stage where the album is in the can. It's been mixed, mastered, and it's ready to go. In the first case, I didn't want it to end. I had gone into this project pushing myself harder than I ever had, and feeling the energy from the band and from Bruce pushing me harder than ever before. And it was just this big challenge to see how good a record I could make. And having come to the end of my tracks, I felt that I had played better than ever before, that my tracks were better than any record I've played on yet. And so I just felt this satisfaction and this, not only satisfaction, but I just felt so warmed up. I mean, I was ready to go. I was ready to keep doing this. And all of a sudden, it was time for me to be done.
Oh, that's the greatest time of all. For me, that's like, wow, that's like what I work for all year. If you were to ask me when's the time, most people say, when my feet get on the beach of Maui. For me, it's when it's all finished, and I get on that plane, and I got the cassette right here, and it's a finished product, and I go, wow. Because, you work 6 months on an album, and you spend a year and a half touring on it. It's like a wave, and the surfboard's your album, and you got the wave, and you want to ride that sucker all the way to the shore. And so it's finished, and it's the greatest. It's just that feeling of I'm so elated at that time that it's a scary place, and I can't wait to get on the road or something else because it really is a void. It's like the eye of the tornado.
Try it one more time. Well, it's just another chapter in the journey, you know what I mean? It's like, it was a really good record for us. I mean, I can see the flaws in it and stuff, but
you know, you're only as good as your next record, you know. So it's just another place to step off to go on to the next thing, you know.
And then it came time when the album was finished. And here was this group of songs. And I knew how I felt about them, but I had no idea how anybody else in the world was going to react to them. I had no idea if we had the album that we needed to get us beyond the point we were at.
Take me to the other side. Take me to the other side. Take me to the other side. Take me to the other side.
We've withstood the test of time, and I don't really know if there are any other tests for us other than ourselves.
Pump has just allowed us to be a little bit freer than we ever were before. In this world of watch what you say and the PMRC and all that stuff still don't mean shit to a tree. It just allows us to be even freer than we were before, because now we know the freedom isn't just saying the word fuck or whatever. It's getting out of our own way. It's letting the kid out. It's having the freedom to express ourselves.
There's a few things you could do, but it's like, it's a fucking masterpiece.
He likes it.
It's amazing.
He likes it! He likes it!
Woo-hoo, I'm scared now. I like it. It's just so safe. It's like, okay, we just spent 6 hours on it. I don't know.
Hey, Steven. Try scatting over that bridge there. Just fucking, just let it fly, you know?
It's all tongue in cheek.
Use some of that use all over it.
To think without a brain. I'm ready. Move it! I knew you'd save that, you bug fucker. Come on. No, we can all be scared of this.
Hey, don't take pictures of me picking my nose!
With that attitude, we'll get nowhere.
Now we got something going here. I love this.
Put a little baits on there.
Hey, Steven.
Don't get mad, get stupid.
This year, say that, say
And what was the time on that, Toby?
We're over. John Collada will never go for this.
You see, I have cleverly disabled the console remote. Yes, the console remote is now disabled.
But I mean, he has some good ideas. I mean, half the things he talks, his sick fantasies are all in these songs.
I just had 3.
So
Why?
now with some sushi or something.
Can we get sushi at this time?
Yeah, you can get anything you want. I don't want a love affair, I just want a blowjob.
I don't know.
Yeah, you one-on-one next week.
Either this or this. Just give me a fucking click track, okay? And let me just fucking plow straight on through.
We got everybody here. Let's take this band, today, tomorrow, Thursday, this week. We'll cut Voodoo Man, we'll cut Monkeys for that.
That made me crazy.
Take what it
But at
takes.
least I'm not stupid. Jeez, I blew the end, didn't I? I blew the end. How did I do that? And it's documented. Letting out the kid!